For millennia, humanity has been captivated by stories of colossal beings, towering giants who once roamed the earth. These tales transcend geography, language, and time. From the frozen fjords of Scandinavia to the ancient riverbanks of the Indus Valley, from the jungles of South America to the deserts of the Middle East, every culture seems to have some version of giant beings embedded deep in its collective memory. They are called by many names: giants, Nephilim, Rakshasas, Titans, Jotnar, or simply the Mighty Ones. But what are we really dealing with here? Are these legends merely symbolic, metaphors wrapped in myth? Or are they distorted echoes of a forgotten reality? One so extraordinary that it challenges everything we know about human history? Let's begin with one of the oldest references, the Bible. In the book of Genesis, we read about a mysterious race known as the Nephilim. They were said to be the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, a hybrid race born of divine and human union. These Nephilim were described as mighty men of old, men of renown, and were associated with corruption, violence, and godlike strength. So feared were they that some interpretations suggest that their presence on earth played a role in the decision to send the Great Flood, to cleanse the world of their dominion. In Hindu mythology, ancient Sanskrit epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata speak of beings known as Rakshasas and Asuras, gigantic, powerful entities with intellects as sharp as their weapons. Some were protectors, while others were destroyers. They fought great wars using flying machines, divine arrows, and superhuman strength. Descriptions of warriors leaping across oceans, lifting mountains, and fighting battles that lasted for ages sound mythical, but are consistently detailed across ancient texts. Then we turn to ancient Greece, where the myth of the Titans is foundational. These gigantic deities ruled the cosmos before being overthrown by the Olympian gods. Some Titans were so enormous, they were said to stretch from earth to the heavens. Their battles with the gods, known as the Titanomachy, were said to have shaped the very landscape of the earth, cracking mountains, forming valleys, and creating rivers. In Norse mythology, the Jotnar, or frost giants, were among the first beings created. These powerful and often malevolent giants dwelled in Jotunheim and were constantly at war with the gods of Asgard. Like the Titans, they were elemental forces of nature, representing chaos, primal energy, and the uncontainable power of the universe. These legends, while culturally distinct, share astonishingly similar themes: giants coexisting with gods or humans, wars between celestial and terrestrial realms, and cataclysmic consequences for humanity. This convergence raises a compelling question. Could these stories be rooted in an ancient, shared memory? A memory passed down through oral tradition, eventually mythologized but based on a kernel of truth? Surprisingly, the idea of ancient giants isn't limited to mythology. In the 19th and 20th centuries, reports surfaced from around the globe of massive human-like skeletal remains being unearthed. In the United States, skeletons measuring over 10 feet tall were allegedly found in burial mounds in the Midwest. Similar claims emerged from Romania, Greece, Egypt, and even parts of South Asia, including present-day Pakistan. Photographs, newspaper articles, and museum records hint at the existence of these anomalies, only to be quietly dismissed or forgotten. Some believe that such findings were either suppressed or deliberately hidden to protect prevailing narratives about human evolution and ancient history. Mainstream science, however, largely rejects these claims. Most experts argue that reported skeletons were either misidentified, exaggerated, or outright hoaxes. They cite the lack of verifiable fossil records and peer-reviewed studies. But skeptics point out that science is not always immune to bias, especially when new evidence threatens foundational theories. Yet, some researchers entertain the possibility that ancient Earth could have supported much larger life forms, including larger humans. They point to changes in Earth's atmospheric composition, specifically higher oxygen levels and lower gravity in prehistoric times, as potential factors that may have allowed organisms, including mammals, to grow to immense sizes. We see this reflected in fossilized remains of megafauna such as the woolly mammoth, the giant sloth, or the megalodon shark. If giants did once walk among us, what became of them? Were they wiped out by natural cataclysms like floods, volcanic eruptions, or asteroid impacts? Or were they perhaps hunted into extinction by early humans, or hidden away in remote corners of the world, waiting to be rediscovered? In the end, the question remains tantalizingly open. Were these giants nothing more than imaginative creations, cautionary tales crafted by our ancestors to explain the unexplainable? Or are we, in our arrogance, dismissing ancient knowledge as superstition, blind to truths buried beneath centuries of myth and mystery? If conclusive evidence were ever unearthed, a complete skeleton too large to ignore, an ancient manuscript revealing forgotten history, or even a preserved body locked in ice, humanity would be forced to confront a new reality. History books would need rewriting, belief systems would be shaken, and we would come face to face with the unsettling possibility that we are not the pinnacle of the human form, but just one chapter in a much older, more complex saga of life on Earth. Expansion. To truly grasp the magnitude of this subject, one must delve into the archaeological and anthropological mysteries that continue to baffle scholars worldwide. Consider the numerous ancient megalithic structures scattered across continents, whose construction defies explanation by conventional means. The Great Pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge in England, the massive Moai statues of Easter Island, and the enigmatic structures at Pumapunku in Bolivia all raise the question, could such monumental feats have been designed, built, or inspired by a race of giants possessing superior knowledge, strength, or technology? The precision, alignment, and sheer scale of these constructions often suggest knowledge of advanced engineering and astronomy. Many researchers have posited that the builders had help, whether divine, extraterrestrial, or a lost civilization of giants. The presence of such colossal statues and carvings implies that their creators either worshipped giants, were giants themselves, or sought to immortalize beings of immense stature and power. Moreover, geological studies have shown evidence of ancient cataclysms that may have altered the Earth's surface and wiped out entire civilizations. The end of the last ice age, approximately 12,000 years ago, brought dramatic climate shifts, rising sea levels, and devastating floods. Some theorists suggest that during these upheavals, giant beings could have been lost, buried beneath sediment, or submerged beneath rising oceans. The legend of Atlantis, a sophisticated civilization swallowed by the sea, often enters this discourse. Could it be that giants were part of such lost worlds, their legacy only surviving in myths? Adding to the intrigue are numerous legends of giants in the Americas. Native American folklore includes tales of enormous beings who once ruled the land before being defeated or driven away. The Siteka, a tribe of red-haired giants from Paiute legend in Nevada, are said to have been exterminated by the local tribes. Archaeologists have occasionally uncovered unusually large bones or footprints, though these finds remain controversial and largely unexplained. The possibility of giants also touches on religious and spiritual interpretations. Some esoteric traditions interpret giants symbolically, representing the struggle between higher and lower forces, or as metaphors for spiritual awakening. Others view them as real entities who influenced early human cultures, imparting knowledge or genetic material, resulting in leaps in civilization development. From a genetic perspective, recent advances in DNA analysis have revealed unexpected complexity in human ancestry. The discovery of Denisovans, an ancient hominin species previously unknown, interbreeding with Homo sapiens, hints at a complicated prehistoric tapestry. Could another, perhaps gigantic hominid lineage, have coexisted with early humans, leaving behind myths and possibly genes we have yet to fully understand? Skepticism is healthy and necessary in scientific inquiry. Yet, the accumulation of unexplained artifacts, anomalous fossils, and cross-cultural myths invites a reconsideration of mainstream history. What if our textbooks have omitted or glossed over chapters of human existence that do not fit current paradigms? Exploring the giants theme also encourages us to think beyond our accepted limits and consider how humanity perceives its place in the universe. Are we truly the culmination of evolution, or one of many forms life has taken on Earth? Are ancient giants a metaphor for the forgotten power and mysteries that still lie buried beneath our feet? Furthermore, the fascination with giants is not just historical or mythological. It persists in modern popular culture, from fantasy novels and films to conspiracy theories and pseudo-archaeology. This enduring interest reflects a deep human urge to understand the unknown and to question our origins and limitations. In summary, the story of giants is as much about humanity's quest for knowledge as it is about the giants themselves. Whether as myth or reality, they challenge us to explore our history with an open mind and remind us that sometimes the most extraordinary truths lie hidden beneath the surface of legend. The Lost Giants, Ancient Legends and Hidden Truths.